two moons. According to a study released to the public during the summer of 2011, planet Earth at one point had two moons. Certain researchers have used this theory to explain the reason for the moon today having a strange set of mountains on its far side. The side of the moon visible to us here on Earth is flat and filled with craters. The other side, however, has tremendous mountain ranges that exceed 10,000 feet. One theory, the global impact hypothesis, suggests that the larger moon collided with another planet, one that would have been about the size of Mars, around 4 billion years ago. The result of that collision, according to the research, was a larger moon, the one that we know today, and then a smaller lunar body that eventually crashed into and was ultimately absorbed into what we can see from our night sky today, forming just one moon. Research is still being done on the matter, but this unknown artist rendition of the two moons here in this image could be the way our skies would have been had that collision never taken place. Number 9. Star jelly. Usually, when I hear the word jelly, I start thinking about breakfast, but I can guarantee you that you ain't spreading this jelly on your morning toast. Well, at least I hope you're not. Star jelly is a weird gelatinous material that has stumped all the experts for quite some time. What's been described on Science.com as a magical gooey substance was thought at one time to simply be frog eggs. But once they were able to determine that this jelly doesn't have any plant or animal DNA, that thought was quickly abandoned. Other, more current studies suggest that this gooey material actually is the same stuff that makes up a lot of the stuff out in outer space, like the sun and the meteors, and that sometimes this material can fall gently down to the earth. But not everyone is so convinced that that's really it either. So then, what could it really be? Star jelly has been referenced in all types of historical documents dating all the way back to the 13th century. The mystery continues for this one. Let's see if we can't get some more direct answers for everything else coming up in the rest of today's countdown. Number 8. Cats purr. If there's one thing that I love, it's a supreme story involving some adorable animals. And there aren't many more adorable animals than cats and kittens, yet there's something unique to this species that science still hasn't really been able to figure out. Put simply, why do cats purr? For a long time, no one really even knew exactly how cats purred, but that's since been figured out. Studies prove that the muscles around the kitten's larynx can constrict, thus releasing that infamous vibration that makes up the purring noise that we've all heard before. But the why is still quite a mystery. People have suggested everything from them using it as a method of communication to a defense mechanism, and even saying that they do it to try and keep calm in moments of distress. But the only thing that we do know for sure is that we don't really know what triggers our domesticated felines into this strange yet seemingly affectionate response. Number 7. The mysterious Russian crater. In southeastern Siberia, there's a giant mysterious crater that doesn't really have any explanation. Nicknamed Fire Eagle's Nest by some locals, but technically called the Potomsky Crater, this gigantic area of land is over 520 feet wide and 139 feet tall. You can clearly see that there isn't very much growing within it either, and the word is that animals don't even like going around it. So, the question obviously is, where did this come from? Was it a meteor, a UFO crash landing, or something else? The answer may forever be a mystery. Experts believe that, whatever it is, was created about 500 years ago. Some even say that it could be the result of a nuclear explosion. But of course, that challenges the theory of it being at least 500 years old. Number 6. The Devil's Cigar. There's a species of mushroom out there that's so rare that it only grows in Japan and Texas. The Devil's Cigar, nicknamed this because of the way it looks before it opens up after reaching maturity, can only be found in these two places. Yet science doesn't really have an explanation as to why. The two locations do both lie on the same latitude, but that's all science really has to offer. Quick fun fact, technically known as Coreopsis, this fungus makes a really loud hissing noise during the time that it's releasing its spores. So if you're in one of the 3 counties in Texas where this strange fungus grows, well, listen up, you may hear something pretty cool. Number 5. Synchronized light show. We'll go from Texas to Tennessee in this next clip, where there's a really beautiful yet super mysterious event going on in the Great Smoky Mountains. Whether you call them lightning bugs or fireflies, I'm sure most of us have seen them before. The tiny flying insect that has a light pulsating from its abdomen as they fly about. On summer evenings, it really makes for a pretty remarkable sight. But most of the time, the lighting among these insects isn't uniform. Each individual bug just seems to turn on and off their own light in whatever pattern or time frame that they desire. But in the Smoky Mountains, there's a such thing as the synchronous fireflies. These bugs all have the ability and apparent desire to turn on and off their lights at the exact same time as everyone else. Exactly why they do this is anybody's guess, but I will say that there's something pleasant about the uniformity. You can also witness this miraculous event in Congaree National Park in South Carolina and Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania. Number 4. The Silent Zone. Everyone enjoys themselves a little peace and quiet every now and again, right? I know I do. Well, there's one place in North America that is supposedly as quiet as anywhere on Earth, and it's been aptly nicknamed the Quiet Zone. What's also been dubbed as the Mexican version of the Bermuda Triangle, extraterrestrial rumors run rampant here. In this northern area of the Chihuahuan Desert, radio signals don't work. Neither will your compass if you place it near rocks on the ground. This 31-mile stretch of land also, for whatever reason, seems to attract things falling from the sky, like Apollo boosters and meteorites. There are stories dating all the way back to the 1930s of pilots claiming to lose control of their airplane instruments and radios when flying over this area. Whatever happened here, or is happening here, is both mysterious and kind of frightening. Number 3. Volcanic lightning. Some things are easy to observe, yet extremely difficult to study, especially something called volcanic lightning. The only real theory as to why this happens, according to the research, is that all of the trillions of particles of ash present during an eruption develops so much friction and static electricity that sometimes it erupts into these dangerously intense, yet kind of pretty, volcanic lightning strikes. As if we didn't need another reason to stay away from active volcanoes. Number 2. Yawning. It's kind of strange that something that almost every human, and even most animals, does at some point of the day is still largely unexplained. But such is the case with yawning. Did you know that the average adult can yawn up to 20 times a day? I know it sounds crazy, right? And what's even wilder is that once you feel a yawn coming on, it's nearly impossible to stop. The involuntary action has recently been linked in studies as a method of helping the body cool down the brain, yet its true biological function is still relatively unknown. And furthermore, yawning is also contagious. You've been in the boring meeting at work when you noticed out of the corner of your eye one of your fellow co-workers trying to disguise their obvious yawn, forcing you to react in the same manner. The only problem is your coworker didn't get caught by your boss, but you sure did. Yeah, well, maybe that hasn't happened to you just yet. Still, it's pretty crazy that with everything scientists and science can tell us about our lives, they still haven't figured this one out. Oh, and before we forget, there is one particular group of people who scientists say isn't susceptible to contagious yawning. Psychopaths. Now that's crazy. Number 1. Hidden beach. The last one does have a bit more of an explanation than all the rest, but we decided to include it anyway simply because most people don't even know it exists. This is Hidden Beach in Mexico, and upon first look, you can easily tell that this isn't your ordinary beach. For starters, you can only get here after swimming through a tunnel. Once you arrive, you'll see that there's a massive hole in the top of the cave that lets in the perfect amount of sun. The Cozy Cave Beach is a travel destination for many each year and certainly attracts a certain dedication, as it takes an hour-long boat ride before your short tunnel swim just to reach the coveted destination. But this mysterious sunroof isn't the result of nature. Rather, it's believed that the island was used for bombing practice targets during the First World War. The Mexican government chose here because, well, at the time, the island was uninhabited. So, a bomb literally blew the roof off of this cave. And now the area is protected land and national park for the great country of Mexico. That was 10 mysterious events science can't explain.